It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And here we are. It is Car Con Carne. It is quarantine con carne for the foreseeable future. I'm James Van Alstyne. Welcome back to the working week. Car Con Carne, sponsored by our friends at Happy to Meet You. They're Chicago's online butcher shop. They're serving the same steaks, chops, cuts of meat that you get at all the local high-end steakhouses and places. And they do it all next day if you're local, like within 60 miles of the city. The quality, it's as good as you get. They guarantee you'll be satisfied, much like my guest who we'll talk to soon. You can try them out with my help. Use the promo code CARNE, C-A-R-N-E, like Carcone. Carne. You'll get free local delivery and a pound of their Mother Chucker burgers, which are these gigantic, delicious burger patties. You get that for free with the local delivery with my promo code this week only. And if you really want to stock up, because let's face it, now's the time to do it. We're all at home. If you spend over $150, you'll get the ThermoWorks super fast pocket meat thermometer for free. So we're talking about a free thermometer, pound of Mother Chucker, free delivery. Use the code TEMP for the thermometer. HappyToMeetYou.com is happy to MEAT letter U, HappyToMeetYou.com. Again, use the promo code Carne and do it this week or forever hold your meat. My guest today, he is a returning guest, the returning champion on this show. He is, well, you probably know him as the co-host of Nick and Doug's Sound Explosion, a pure podcast for now people. But he also used to run a hot dog stand in Chicago that drummed up some business. He is Hot Doug. Hello, Hot Doug. You know, it's so funny. In my head, I talked to you very recently, but I was going through my records. You last appeared on this podcast when I was at episode 108. This is episode 495. I guess it's been a couple years since I talked to you.
Is it really? Wait,
since the movie
episodes? Yeah,
since Hot Doug's the movie.
The restaurant. It's been that long.
Yes.
Weird. So is this my fourth time? Fourth time,
I think.
Fourth time. Okay. Well, thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
Well, I always love talking to you, and I try to find excuses to get back in conversation.
At this point, you could just call anytime. By the way, I'm pretty sure I'm free from now until vaccine. So, call me anytime.
I would say, do you have anything going on right now, or are you just?
Nope. I got nothing. My bartending skills have gotten significantly better, and my house is almost empty of everything.
Were you hoarding? Were you getting rid of stuff?
No, but I figured, so the quick story is my dad was like TV worthy hoarder. And every time I'd go to his house, I'd come home and just throw something away just to sort of get that off. So because it's my dad, you get a little tendency, I'll hold on to these things. And since this, all paper gone, I figured I don't need my tax returns from 1988 anymore.
I think 7 years, right? After 7 years, you can get rid of that stuff.
And at this point, I think you can get rid of everything since it's all online.
Yeah.
Anyways, I pretty much discovered that. So house is painted as everyone's house is painted and redone. And that's about. Other than that, no, I got nothing.
So your dad was a hoarder. Are you not a collector? See, I tend to, I'm not a hoarder, but I'm a collector. I like amassing stuff. I like hunting and finding stuff. And there you go. I like the act of collecting. Not you? No,
I don't. I think the only thing I actually have that I'll probably end up getting rid of, my Madonna calendars going back to 1985. No, anywhere from 1 to 4 different ones per year at the height of her career. And I just kept throwing them in a bin.
Wait, you're not making that up?
No, I'm not making that up. So if those ever really take off in value, I'm sitting pretty, baby.
One of the great things about, glass half full. One of the positives of life in a pandemic is we're all communicating over things like Zoom, if not just Zoom, and we get to peek into people's personal lives. We get to see where they live. Over your left shoulder is the original Hot Doug's menu from the wall.
It's the Dave Kingman. I can tip this up. We have it's the autographed ones. So Dave Kingman, Anna Kendrick, and then my nephews, Charlie and James.
That's amazing. And Anna Kendrick actually tried her sausage, right?
Yes, and kind of dined and ditched.
No.
I probably wouldn't have charged her, but technically she dined and ditched. So
Well,
yeah,
you famously
if you ever see her, tell her she owes me $3.
you famously didn't really give anyone any special treatment. Like everyone had to wait in line to get in your place.
To get just about, yes. My dad used to, wow, this is the second mention of him. He used to tell people, oh, he makes me wait in line. And then he'd get to the front. And I would tell the people around him, no, he doesn't. I don't make him wait in line. He chooses to wait in line so that he can tell you he's my dad. And he did fess up that that's actually the case.
Did Steve Albini have to wait in line?
Oh, yeah. They used to fax in their orders.
That's right. I remember. I read this in Hot Doug's the book.
That's right.
Because they faxed in orders. What band was it that you couldn't believe? Oh, it was Iggy Pop. Iggy and the Stooges were recording there.
And it was the only time I ever asked. It was like, okay, are any of these for Iggy? And the intern was like, oh yeah. And I told him, it's like, you don't have to tell me. I know this isn't like client, or lawyer client privilege, but you're under no obligation to tell me. But he was like, oh yeah, this one and this one. So I still have that order. Speaking of that, I went through, there were probably like 8 bins of Hot Doug stuff, every magazine article, newspapers, all these things. As part of during the pandemic cleanup, I got it all down to a 3-ring binder.
That's impressive.
But I did keep that fax. So that I still have, but everything else, like, there's a mention in Golf Digest. I read it. I was like, oh, that's funny. Recycle bin.
So no, you're not a sentimental guy at all.
Not at all. No stuff. No, not at all. Happy to unload most everything.
Let's talk about Iggy Pop for a second, because easily one of the best shows I ever saw was Iggy Pop solo. Are you a huge fan?
I'm not a huge fan. Pretty big fan though. I saw the Ramones open for Iggy at the Aragon 19 something, 80 something, 90, maybe in the 90s.
I will say the Ramones, one of the loudest bands I think I ever saw live.
And yeah, one of my favorite bands.
Without a doubt.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're like top 3.
Them and Motorhead, those were bands who, when you saw them live, you could feel the bass. The sound was a physical presence in the room.
Precisely. And because I'm somewhat short, I would kind of go to the side of the stage. Well, that's right in front of the monitors.
Yes.
So now it's all pops and clicks, baby. For you youngsters out there, don't do that if you want to hear, when you get on and you.
One of the reasons I thought to reach out to you, besides missing you, I was reminded of you. I was on my way to Bridgeview. Pegboy was doing a drive-in show. It was like their 30th anniversary show out at the Chicago Drive-In there. And I was taking side streets all the way there, and I took Cicero. I'm like, I haven't been to Roma's for a while. Went to Roma's. It's 4237 Cicero. They have a sandwich on the menu. It's the Atomic Combo, which features hot dogs, atomic sausage, and their Italian beef. It's basically a beef sausage combo, but it's made with your sausage.
Yeah.
And dude, it was fucking delightful.
Thank you. It's really good when and it was like, we had a mutual friend with Freddie at Roma's, and he's like, hey, can we do this? I was like, sure. At that time. And I was like, well, let me taste the Italian beef first. And they do a nice job. And I'm thrilled that they put the little logo up outside.
And I guess that makes me wonder, how come we don't see more of your sausage post restaurant? How come it's not in more places?
It is, well, there is a couple places. Peace Pizza has it both on their pizza, and at Bro Bagel, the Atomic sandwich is back, breakfast sandwich is back. There's a retail line available at Paulina Market.
You're in Skokie too.
Yeah, up at Schaefer's in Skokie, at Toto Market down in the Loop, and Dill Pickle Co-op now. And we're slowly trying to expand the line. Paulina expanded, and we're slowly trying to expand the line.
So does that keep you busy, or is this kind of like a hobby for you at this point?
Not at all. It doesn't keep me busy in the slightest. I suppose it would be more if, it was a little less COVID-y out there. But no, that part's not keeping me that busy.
COVID aside, do you miss anything about running your own place? About having the restaurant?
I miss the paycheck. I'm not going to lie. No, I miss people. I miss which is also, COVID as well. One of the things I miss is just the ease of seeing people.
Sure.
But I miss the relationships, not only with customers, but purveyors and staff as well. And that constant flow of people I knew coming in all the time. I miss that. The actual running of a business and running of a restaurant, even not COVID notwithstanding, I don't miss it for a second. I really don't. It was awesome. I loved it. And I don't regret a thing about closing it.
Well, Hot Doug's had a total rock and roll trajectory. I mean, you burnt out before you faded away.
That was the goal. Yes.
How many restaurants get to leave on their own terms? I mean, that's.
Yeah, no, there was the exception. No doubt about it.
Leave them wanting more.
Yep.
That's showbiz right there.
What's the baseball trade, axiom that a better a year too early than a year too late.
Exactly.
Yep.
So Wrigley Field, is that still going, or is that?
Nope. I mean, it's still there, but nope. That this year, nothing there. And my hunch is it maybe next season, but just doing like the math and the science, if they're going to open it up to anything less than 30% capacity, I don't see why they would open the bleachers.
Yeah. And
I don't think that it would be worth it for them to like revamp anything as far as putting the stand in, another part of the ballpark. I'm not planning on it.
Fair enough. So I mentioned that there is a Hot Doug's the book. There's also a Hot Doug's the movie, the documentary. It's interesting. We're almost at a point in time where there's an entire generation that will come up not knowing of Hot Doug's restaurant.
It's been a little over 6 years since it's closed. Yeah. And now every so often I'll be with someone who's like, hey, do you know it's Hot Doug's? And they're like, maybe. It's like, yep. Finally, it's the whatever happened to, and that guy's still alive. I'm waiting for that kind of stuff, which is, I'm very much at peace with.
Now you know what it's like to be a radio personality.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I haven't heard Larry Lujak in a while.
Well, there are a lot of reasons for that. One really, really big one. But with Hot Doug's the movie and Hot Doug's the book,
yes,
stage, like a stage production,
like a one-man show. I didn't think.
Or maybe like something big and grandiose, like an Andrew Lloyd Webber thing.
Just me on roller skates talking about the
something glittery, something fanciful and whimsical.
Oh, I have no problem with that.
I know you don't.
Involved. I'm in. I'm not. I wouldn't hold your breath on that.
So one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you today, we're in this weird time, this tough time, and I don't want to change from the glittery fun Doug on roller skates to something kind of gloomy, but it's a dark universe out there for the service industry. It's a tough time for restaurants. Things are shutting back down again. What advice or thoughts can you give as a successful restaurateur, an independent restaurant owner, to the owners who are kind of struggling to go week by week right now?
It is, I did realize, I've realized over the last few months how many of my friends are either in the restaurant business or in the music or art business. I was like, oh man, next time it's just going to be bankers and like insurance salesmen. I of course have been asked how I would have handled this if the restaurant was still open. And I honestly don't know. The friends, who I know whose restaurants are still open, what they have to do, the protocol they have to go through, the energy, the effort to make sure that their staff is safe, that the customers are safe, that they can somehow sell enough food to keep the place open. It's brutal. Yeah. It is brutal. I just keep thinking, look, I think it's necessary to shut them down. I really do. This indoor dining, we have to get this thing under control. Having said that, but there has to be a plan to help these restaurants out. It's so many people. It employs so many people who can't work from home, obviously. And these restaurants, truly like the cornerstones of neighborhoods. They give so many cities their identity. And to sort of just kind of cut them off at the knees without any help, I think is unconscionable. if there was the possibility of like so many restaurants, like, look, we're going to shut down till there's a vaccine or till we can get outside, dining again. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah. As I see or saw all these solutions that venues, bars, restaurants were using through the summer and even the fall, the tents outside, drive-in concerts for the music industry, I realized, okay, these are great solutions, but they're temporary because we live in Chicago, and sooner than later, the weather turns to shit. And oh my God, what then? And
and even if it's like 50 degrees, but if it's 50-mile-an-hour winds like it was the other day, it's like you can't have outdoor seating. And even for like a music venue, just to open it up at 20% capacity or 25%, you still have to staff it with like almost the full staff. I mean, there's just and for, I know full well the margins for a restaurant, you have to be at 100% capacity to make a living and to pay staff. I mean, they're brutally expensive ventures to run. And I mean, pick a business and say, by the way, we're cutting your revenue by 70%.
Right.
It's like, well, what do your rent doesn't go down by 70%. The electricity doesn't go down. You still need X amount of staff. It's painful what, my friends are going through.
Right. And it's not like small independent restaurants are sitting on some gigantic nest egg and they think, oh, we'll just ride this out. We'll be okay.
But even the big restaurant groups as well. I mean, they're not. I mean, those are month-to-month operations in so many ways, and they're so big and so much staff involved and so much, purveyors and the linen companies and the garbage cleaning, like all this stuff. It generates so many jobs that when you take that kind of hit, it's like even though those big places, they can't survive for very long.
Is there a sense of community? I never got a sense with the restaurant business if it was more of an everyman or person for themselves, or if it was more of a community. Let's all chip in and help each other.
Huge community. And it is one of that I miss is this incredible, if someone was in need, just, pick up the phone. It's like, what do you need? And I found that like across the board, of course, we were all in competition with each other, but incredibly, I found it to be just this really wonderful community of the most generous, hardworking group of people on the planet, hands down. I mean, we would get inundated with requests. Can you do this? Can you drop off food? Can you donate this? Every restaurant says yes. And you just don't see that in any other business, and especially businesses that are not anybody going into this business thinking I'm going to make $1 million. Yeah, you're out of your mind. It's not that. It takes a special like, neuron or two missing to do it, but also just there's an incredible compassion amongst the restaurant people.
I remember when the first shutdown started, end of March, early April, I thought I want to help as many people as I can. And then I quickly got overwhelmed. I would see every GoFundMe, every fundraiser for every bar, restaurant, club I've ever been to. Everyone needed help. And it took my breath away. And it still kind of gives me pause as I say it now. It was just so awful to consider everyone is hurting. And as we're heading into winter, I guess my question to you, coming from the consumer side, what's the best way that we can help?
I would say, I mean, it's funny because it's been really tough for me because obviously, my income has gone way down, and fortunately, I know my way around the kitchen a little bit. Restaurant, no proof of that, but and so it's really hard to. I order out when I can, but for the most part, like I'm cooking at home. It's there's economics on my end as well. It is I would say just to order out as much as you can and tip well. Just tip round up well past, the 15%. Just keep going, whatever you can, whatever you can spare, and to try to the places that you would frequent anyways. And just, everybody needs the help.
So you mentioned that you're in your own kitchen a lot. Are you coming up with stuff? Are you being inventive? Are you innovating as you're at home?
I don't know about innovating so much. It's just having this opportunity to be in the kitchen has actually been great and incredibly enjoyable. And just to sort of now I'm forced to, if I'm going to be cooking something different like every night, it's like, all right, we got to expand the repertoire a little bit here and start playing around with different proteins and seasonal things. And that's been a lot of fun.
Do you make sausage at home, or are you just kind of done with that?
No, that's you buy sausage. I had a great cooking school teacher who anytime he would ask, like, how do you make vinegar? He's like, what are you, camping? You buy vinegar. Like, so all I said about sausage is like, no, that you can just go buy it. It's fine.
Yeah, you're not supposed to take your work home with you, but here I am on a microphone.
These things happen. It's unavoidable.
Right. Yeah.
By the way, I'm a little upset you didn't mention, yes, the hot dog signs, but that is a Taylor Swift calendar right behind you, too.
I couldn't really tell who that was. I mean, from here, it could be.
Exactly.
You're a fascinating dude, Hot Dog.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I would not have expected the Taylor Swift calendar.
No, I'm a Swiftie.
And
absolutely.
No matter what Taylor Swift has done, will do, nothing can touch the Hot Dogs theme song. I want to eat at Hot Dogs. I want to eat at Hot Dogs. I want to eat a hot dog.
I appreciate.
I want the feel. I want the taste. I want the meats that are encased.
The aforementioned Nick of Nick and Doug Sound Explosion is the creator, composer, musician on that fine disc.
Wildly creative guy.
Yeah.
Also one of the nicest dudes I've ever met.
Absolutely. There's all sorts of stuff. So right there is the CD of Theme from Hot Dogs, autographed by James Caan.
No.
Yeah. It's a long story, but yes.
James Caan, didn't see that coming.
No, not at all. Has nothing to do with the record, but but autographed by James Caan.
So the podcast you're doing now with Nick, this is a newer podcast.
Although we're not 495 episodes in, we're getting closer. I think we're at 26. Yeah, so we were on one called The Untitled Hour that we did for a while, and then we just, between all sorts of things, it kind of faded away, and we both realized we just missed talking to each other. Yeah. So it's like, well, let's start another one. And we were okay with it, like trying to do it every few months. And then it was like 8 months we hadn't done it since like COVID, and doing it this way via Zoom. It's like every couple of weeks.
Yeah. I found, we were talking before we started recording. I started doing this podcast nightly just to keep it alive, just so that I didn't torpedo 6.5 years of momentum. But also the other side effect is, or the happy benefit is, one, it keeps me busy, but two, I get to have conversations with people.
Exactly. And like I said before, the two things I miss COVID wise, and also with the restaurant, talking to people, the ease of getting together, meeting someone for coffee, lunch, whatever, and travel as well. I miss that. But so this, I will say, the Zoom and all the other, just even the phone calls, that part's I've been really conscientious about keeping on top of that and just checking in with people and making sure, just having just that little bit of connection is really nice.
Yeah, I agree. Hot Dog, I think you're a mensch.
Oh, I love it when you speak Japanese.
It's French.
I'm sorry. That's quite the faux pas.